them.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Voice is clown.
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Those are the two that I would have chosen.
Oops, I had that button on, so it said, "Hey, listen, what up? We're live."
Oh,
Episode
we're alive.
issue 104, or no, yeah, 104?
104.
104.
104.
Issue 104, episode 104 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us. Welcome everyone who is watching live and is watching this as a past episode, or previous episode, or past
Iteration.
podcast, whatever. Oh, you know what else? I don't have the music on.
Wow, how else are they going to get low chill vibes from us?
Hold on.
Without
Oh my goodness.
the
Everybody
music on?
talk amongst yourselves while I set this up. Oh my God. I can't believe I had everything set up except for the music. Yes.
Mhm.
Two-factor authentication.
Oh my God, what is happening?
What is this? Why allow? Yes.
She-Hulk. Do we need to start talking about She-Hulk while you do this?
No, first we have to talk about our show's sponsors. And then we can talk about She-Hulk.
What's up, Joe? Patty?
I trust this.
It's a pretty good week this week.
Thank you. All right, there we go.
Lots of books.
Oh, it's
Too many books.
There you go. That work?
I feel like I'm already going to cull some things from the pull list after this week.
All right, everybody settle down. Everything's
I'll just drink my coffee now while you do the plug.
sounds good. All right, so everybody welcome. Let's talk about the show's sponsors. And our first, really our only sponsor, which we are totally okay with, is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is our LCS here. And they have a website called brainycomics.com. We would love for you to go over to brainycomics.com and check out what they have to offer. They have, you can go over there and buy exclusive and variant covers of books, bundles, Bad Idea books, which round 2 is coming out very soon, new comics, mystery bags, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards. So head on over there, do some shopping, and then before you're done, before you decide to check out, we want you to go up to that search bar right there, type in Two Fat Guys Pull List, and where's my mouse? This will pop up. It is a Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade or premium upgrade, which if you do the upgrade and you put that in your cart, you'll get one exclusive or mystery variant in your cart when your shopping stuff comes to your mail. I gotta reword that sentence. You get stuff, right? You get cool stuff.
You get stuff. You get the stuff.
And if you do the premium for $15, you get 2 mystery covers. You're probably asking what do those mystery covers look like? Well, again, we were just at the front page. You may get one of these. This cool connecting Venom Spider-Man thing here. One is just $15. If you were to get the $15, you might get both. Who knows? Tons of things to look at. The other cool thing is Ron tries to kind of match what you bought. So if you bought like a Spider-Man comic, there's a potential to get one of these. If you bought a Star Wars comic, there might be an exclusive Star Wars cover in there, or like a She-Hulk cover if you bought She-Hulk, or DC, Superman or Batman. So definitely go check out brainycomics.com, buy some stuff, put the upgrade in your cart, see what you get, then let us know on social what you ended up winning, or what was your mystery pool. We'd love to hear about that. So brainycomics.com, we'd love to see it. Great place. Go check it out. All right, the other thing we got to talk about before we get into the actual show is our subscriber giveaway. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers, and when we do, we give away this 9.4 CGC graded Silver Surfer Black issue number 1, second printing with Noel on the cover. And then you guys know, the deal. If we can hit 1,000 subscribers, we're still giving this away, guys. Like it hasn't changed. We're giving away a 9.8 CBCS graded Amazing Spider-Man #4 original Sin tie-in first appearance. Oh my god, almost dropped it. Of Silk.
Wow,
So
that would have been bad.
let's hit this up, guys. Let's hit this goal. We can do it. Yes. So, Cowboy fans, hangover diet. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe.
Hangover, yeah, because we're celebrating.
All right, let's get into it. So we got a big show tonight. I got football that I want to go watch. So let's get this going. So we're gonna talk about She-Hulk first, episode 5. Did you end up watching it, or did you?
I finished it 13 minutes ago.
Oh man, so you did a lot of homework right before the show.
Hey, I made sure I was 100% done. I didn't miss anything.
Well, it's gonna be unfair to what I'm gonna say about this because I am a She-Hulk fan. So again, I said before the show even started that the CGI could be absolute trash, and I would love the
Trash.
But I am still continually impressed with this show. I think it's a great show. I think the comedic tones are on point. I think the social commentary is 100% on point. They would do the same thing in the comic. It's not triggering me, whatever. And I love that it's pissing off people that, what do you mean? Whatever, get out of here. But this was a really fun episode. I love the Titania back and forth, her getting under Jen's skin, and really formulating that nemesis, the arch rival, if you will, play on the characters. Is it the same Titania that we have in the comics? Doesn't really seem like it. It's more of like a social influencer version, but I think there will be some action soon to come between the two, not just what we got in the first episode. Overall, I really enjoyed. I liked Jen kind of being on the ropes, and she knew she had to keep her mouth shut, right? Like if she had opened her mouth in the court, she probably would have lost that case. But they built it up properly, with her dating app and going on those dates. I still don't understand how the actual gentleman who ends up being a dick wouldn't date Jen. Like that's what are you doing? No, that's not a thing. You literally were written poorly. But I enjoyed the episode. The one thing that I will say that I was disappointed in, and is purely speculation, is how they dealt with the Daredevil reveal in this episode. So if you
don't like that,
well, I'll tell you. No. Obviously, I like that Daredevil's coming. Don't get me wrong, but it's very clear. I think the episode probably, like when they had this episode in the editing bay, they ended it when she said, "Oh, my clothes," and I'm sure it cut to the credits, right? And then when the credits ended, she was going to the designer, and she was trying on all her clothes, and then the last scene was, oh, and there's Daredevil's helmet. Bada bing, get ready. I think the reason why they cut it the way they did, because there was no post-credit scene, right? Post-credit scene was in the credits, like all the Easter eggs of the shoes and all that stuff. Like that's what it's been. And I think the reason why they cut it the way they did now is because they had already announced that Daredevil was going to be in the show prior to the show even coming on, right? So everybody knew it was coming. So they were like,
so they didn't want it to people to be like, that's a cheap post-credit scene because we already knew.
Yeah, we already knew that Daredevil was coming. So why that's lame, and that's the only thing to me is like I go back to them revealing that Daredevil was going to be in the show. I get it. They were worried that people were like just going to totally write the show off and not watch it. And so they felt like they had to present Daredevil before the show even started. And I find that, I don't know. For me, that's kind of, it's like they just didn't have the strength in the show, right? And I think, can you imagine if they hadn't announced Daredevil in the trailer? And then we get to this episode, and that's the post-credit scene. The internet would have lost their fucking minds, dude. Minds.
This would have been the best episode of She-Hulk so far.
Yeah, right.
When actually it was I don't have much more to add besides I was entertained, but I actually was just sort of like, meh.
I know, and that's okay. That's okay. I think,
but I don't. Yeah, like where it fits on a whole as part of the show is like really just like on a medium pace. Like it's not. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't like make me go. I don't know if I want to watch the next episode. Like,
right. All it is it's a connector to all the it's literally a tie-up of the first arc essentially. Because we're getting ready to move into the second arc, where I think we're gonna play less. I'm gonna say unfortunately, we're gonna play less time in the courtroom, and we're gonna be doing more superhero stuff. Like clearly, what we saw about Daredevil in this episode, he's much more prominent in the episode than we thought. Where they're actually going on either training or they're actually doing superhero stuff together, doing like an investigation. So we will see in episode 6. But overall, I am still very pleased. And I know it's probably not going to happen. But I think She-Hulk definitely deserves a second season because it is literally a gateway, an avenue to introduce more players into the MCU, and they can pop up in the movies in Phase 4 and Phase 5. I think it's a perfect place for that. I can even see She-Hulk popping up in Ms. Marvel, which I just read that is potentially has been greenlighted for a second season. Like, she has opportunity to bring in characters, and she also has a lot of opportunity to jump in throughout the rest of the MCU's shows and movies. I cannot wait. It's my show, guys. I'm sorry. You're outside of them like killing her off. That's the only way the show will get a bad review from me. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, I know.
All
right, let's get. You never know. Let's get to the chat. Joe says She-Hulk was good, but I hope we get a direction to. I want to know who wants her blood. I think we will. I think from episode 6 on. So what? Yeah. So we have 3 more episodes, right? 6,
7, 8,
9. I know how to.
9,
no,
so
9.
4.
There's 9. 4. I'm sorry. I don't know how to count. So I think we will have a legit direction, some plot, some legit coolness going on. Even though I think the setup has been fine, but I think that's where we're definitely headed. Because I don't know how She-Hulk became so controversial. It's just this fun show that probably gives us the most street level MCU stuff we've seen in years. Totally agree. Joe, I'm thinking Daredevil will work out on the West Coast if he's getting his costume there. Yeah, totally. I think Todd will come back in a big way. I think he's the boss of the creepy dudes. Ooh, so the date. I kind of, that could work out. Todd is the leader's brother, I think. Okay. Oh, Todd's the leader's brother. That would be huge because the leader is coming back in Captain America, I believe. So we'll probably see a She-Hulk cameo there as well. Sad the audience score is 20s though. Dude, it's such bullshit. I don't even listen to that anymore. They know how many people are watching the show, and that's what matters. The only thing that bothers me about the show or the comics like this is how the men treat women. Nothing wrong with the message. I totally get that. It does its job by making me uncomfortable and thinking. Okay. I just don't like when they treat people like objects. Steven says, I want Jack of Hearts on the show. Love that dude. Dude, that would be dope.
That would be pretty cool.
I think Jen and Matt will have a bit of a romance, and I'm here for that. But yes, like I think
a bit like a flirty thing though, like never an actual like romance.
I think if there's a will they don't they, I kind of like that idea, but
that's what I mean. Not like an always up in the air, but like I think a solidified relationship between the two of them to me would be very off-putting.
I'm not saying there would be a solidified, but I wouldn't mind seeing like She-Hulk throw him against the wall and be like, one night stand. Sorry, I broke your back, kind of thing. I don't know. That's an idea.
Know. Sure, whatever.
Dude, if Todd is the madman, I will freak. He's so underrated, and he wears the sack. What?
The sack on his head.
What?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
We'll see. Either way, really enjoyed it. Thursdays, like Wednesdays are really awesome because we get our comics. And then Thursdays I wake up and I'm like, She-Hulk before I go to work. It's great. So, all right. Well, that is our review of episode 5. Great episode. I want a season 2 already. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it now. All right. Let's jump into our books today for the...
No.
What?
You did it out of order.
What did I do out of order?
X-Men Red first. Kieran Gillen even tweeted it.
There, and then I'll go back.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ. Quiku, goddamn X-Men Red and Judgment Day are strong contenders for some of the best issues of the year, at least for me. Quiku, I'm right there with you. Before I read my Independence, these two books were my picks of the week. I was gonna have 2 issues become my pick of the week.
Gonna have a combo there, huh?
Yeah, dude, 1-2 punch, because that's what this is. X-Men Red, and then going into Judgment Day was just like flawless victory. You know, like I think Al Ewing and Karen Gillan are just the disciples of Jonathan Hickman. Like they know.
Oh.
I just think they know how to.
Hasn't Karen Gillan been around longer than Hickman though?
Yes, but Hickman like elevated everything, and so now he's come back in and gone, okay, I see it. I don't know. I could be wrong in that statement, and if you want to, take me out, that's fine. But I don't know. I just think they're both working so well to preserve the idea of like issues having things that matter, and not diving so deep into past events where we're like, wait, what? Like it's pretty connective and active within what we're currently reading.
Yes.
And again, is Magneto going to make it out alive? Well, we kind of know, but we maybe not. I don't know. You don't
kill Magneto, but like he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. The dude is, but
he has no heart. He was holding his heart together by the iron in his blood.
Hey, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. That was dope.
It is cool, but damn, is that a
guy.
Stretch? Like that is
not
a stretch.
It's a stretch. Listen. It's a stretch. If Gary Jerry had done it, because he would not have explained it at all in next issues. He would have just been, no, that's just what's happening. And Al Ewing did his due diligence to tell us exactly how he was doing it in a really cool way. Yep. And, we're seeing what Hickman laid down with mutants tag teaming their powers to keep, either powering them up, keeping them alive, or creating planets. And we get that in this issue too. And it's nonetheless, it's an Arakan, right? It's a Mars mutant, not even an Earth mutant, that are working together. I don't know. I think this issue was super strong. I feel like we're really building something awesome on Mars, and my biggest fear right here is that we're gonna lose it. Like it's just gonna go away, and I hope it doesn't. Like I have this impending doom because we're getting we can kind of see the writing on the wall with these new writers, or old writers not coming back in solicitations, and we're kind of like, uh-oh, what's going on? You know what I mean? And I feel like we're like, Marvel's just gonna go, you know what, Krakoa's over. Let's kind of just do a hard/soft reset, and now we just have the X-Men, and I'm really worried about that. So
we'll see.
You go ahead.
No, I really enjoyed these issues. I'm not shitting on them in any way. I just thought that one little thing was funny. I actually was, maybe it was just me, but I was super turned off and then turned on right away by this issue. I was reading the data page. I was like, man, right away data page.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is of course the first book I read of the week, and so I was like, all right, man, we're starting off with it. And then I assumed that was all we were gonna get with these characters. He was just trying to build a little bit of, hey, this is what's going on the planet. And then when I turned it around and we got that really epic 3/4 panel, I was like, oh shit, it felt like a movie. Where you're seeing a transcript on the screen, and all of a sudden, boom, it just throws you into a image of Armageddon.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really cool. And it kind of set the tone for the whole issue, because this issue never really chills out. It just keeps going.
It's constant, pedal to the metal, let's go. And I don't know, it's really odd, because I remember when I was reading Al Ewing's Guardians of the Galaxy run, there were times when I was like, and then there were times I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I have yet to have an issue of Red that I'm like, that was okay. It's been fire. And I guess for me, I'm anticipating what Ewing has been building in this book. After Judgment Day, we are clearly moving down to Abigail Brand, and if she's going to succeed in her double crossing being with Orcus, or if she's with Krakoa, I pray to God she gets what's coming to her and she doesn't, win. But I think that's what's really cool about this book. And again, Ewing just knows how to write these characters. Like he's taken the time to find their voice and not lose it in kind of like sappy, quick dialogue, you know? Whereas I'm going to get in trouble, but you're going to love this. Unfortunately, Gary Jerry I feel like has lost that style. Like it's just kind of like, comic. Like I feel like he's writing Spider-Man, but he's getting a whole month to do it rather than every 2 weeks.
He's too worried about taking pictures for his own book. Did you see that? His Kickstarter launch?
No.
He launched a Kickstarter for his photography book. But it's super cool because one of his featured photos is from Comic-Con last year, and it's like all the biggest Marvel people walking down like a New York street, like Donny Cates in his black fucking trench coat, and he's got his like bleach blonde hair, and it's like I can't remember who all. Jonathan Hickman I think is in it, and Al Ewing is in it. It's a bomb photo. Like if you know comic creators by looking at them, you see that photo, you're like, whoa, shit, that's a lot of dudes. That's just cool. One photo. Right. Anyway, random aside, but
I liked. Unfortunately, I read this out of order. I didn't pay attention, so like. But now that I'm thinking about it, totally makes sense. But X-Men Red, amazing. Again, X-Men Red and Judgment Day would have been my pick of the week if it had not been for a certain independent. I think all of you know exactly where I'm going with that. Let's get really quick with chat. Chad.
What's up, Chad?
Chad. Where did we leave off? So Patty, as a kid, Madman was in a couple books I read in like Hulk 330-ish.
That's what he was saying about the guy with the sack on his head. There's a character called Madman.
Gotcha. Something, but he looks like he wears a scarecrow mask. And then I think we get I don't know. I think he got brought back in the recent Thunderbolt issue. Interesting. Stefan, what's going on with the fisherman dude? I don't really understand. His power is nothing. Yeah, I think he's just a human. Like
no. He's a Rockin', and his power is literally that he's nothing. Like it's very apparent that that's his power. That he's nothing.
I think he's a cool dude. He's gonna end up being like the king of Araco, I think, or he'll end up being like Apocalypse's like right hand man, like Ghost, like while I was gone, and then like good job, you know, that kind of thing. Because Apocalypse is coming back. Joe, I really love this issue, and this Judgment Day is perfect. 1-2 punch. The team up with Storm was epic, no doubt, and that explanation in it was really cool too, which we'll get to. Magneto doesn't want to be resurrected. That's his wish. So I wonder how long he's off the book. With Magneto off the board, and he's used the metal from the core of Mars, that means the planet will be unlivable, right? I don't know.
Joe, you are well. I was gonna say you're giving the writer too much credit, but it is Al Ewing, so he might actually.
Yeah, dude. Al Ewing is deep, dude. Like that's his.
I don't think Magneto's off in any board at all. I would be literally shocked if he misses as one single issue of X-Men Red. Shocked.
Kuka says the Fisher King is weaponless like Zen, which means if he has a power, it isn't combat related. There's something there. It's very clear because we keep on talking about it. Like, what are you, just a normal dude? And he's like, man, I just have nothing. Like, that's clear. Like, I think he's a coin flip, to be honest. All right, let's go back to Judgment Day issue number 4. We were wrong. We were totally wrong. We thought that there was just going to be more buildup in this issue, and there was. There definitely was. And we definitely got more voice from the actual Celestial, where he even feels like he shouldn't judge certain people a certain way, which I thought was interesting. It's like he's got like a little bit of a hint of machine in him, you know, where he kind of has that sarcastic dialogue.
Mean the Earth machine, like the actual Eternals machine. Right,
that's what I'm saying.
You said like machine. I thought you meant like robotic, like.
No. I'm talking about the Earth, where he's having like internal dialogue, like, "Oh, I feel shame" or something, which was interesting to me.
Yeah, when he was going to judge the kid, he's like, "I'm not going to judge him. I'm not a monster."
Yeah.
And I was like,
"Right."
But if judging people who might not deserve it is what you're doing, you skipping one person doesn't mean shit.
It's weird. But that being said, at the end of it, it was just like, I thought we were just going to continue on, and we continue on with the Judgment, see you in issue 4 or 5, and it was like, nah, thumbs down, bitches. And I think the only thing that I will say that is kind of a negative is how they dealt with Uranos. There was this buildup of just release me, I will take care of your problems. Okay, I release you, and then not that it wasn't cool. Seeing Magneto and Storm do the ultimate fusion dance was fucking awesome. That was really fun, but I was expecting more. I thought maybe issue 5 would be all right, we got to deal with Uranus now because we've been judged and we got to figure shit out. That's not the case. They take care of him pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the Star Fox becoming Eternal Prime? Do you like that? I
like that a lot. I have and I like it though because of my own bias, not because of any good plot. I think the way it was told makes sense. I think it fits well with the plot. But I can say personally, it's just bias that makes me like it because I really like Eros as a character because he was a part of that whole Jim Starlin 70s stuff with Adam Warlock and Thanos and just that whole 70s cosmic shit. So anytime I see him, I'm like, yep, we're doing cosmic stuff or eternal stuff. So
Joe brings up a good thing. He goes, Marvel reboot, that ending was wild, but if they did another fake out like previous issues, that won't be cool. I wonder what's next. I didn't really think of that way. Would the Celestial fake out? I guess maybe he would fake out everybody so that to see what they would actually do within Judgment. Maybe you think?
Maybe. The only people that we see die are nobodies, right? Or just normal humans.
Oh, I forgot to even. That was a wild page, dude.
You see people around Captain America, and he's got the one guy that he's holding, and then you look back, and the guy that he's holding is incinerated. Yet he's being blocked by the shield, just like Cap is. And so Cap is alive, which leads me to believe that this is probably
crazy.
It is crazy for sure. It's probably, unfortunately, it's almost guaranteed it's a fake out of something.
You think it's a fake out?
Well, I mean, I don't possibly see how you could get around that it being a fake out. What it seems more likely to me is it's not a fake. It's a not fake out. This really happens. This really happens. They're all dead, and for 2 issues, our heroes are going to be like, "We can't believe you've killed half the population. We're so mad at you." And by the end of it, they find a way to reverse it. But that's still a fake out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I guess I'd more prefer that kind of fake out than it was just a dream, because I can't tell you how pissed I was that I had to forcefully watch Twilight movies, and then when the one cool thing happened where people's necks were being broken, and then just kidding, it's fake. Don't do that to me. I was actually enjoying this, and now I hate it even more. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. I hope it's not a fake out, but if it is, I hope it's the one that you just talked about and not just we live in a dream. That would be kind of a bummer. But it is true. The rumors are true. Issue 5 is coming out this Wednesday, so we are getting 100%. a 1-2 punch. 1-2 punch. Judgment Days in our aside. So we'll see what happens. But
right. Before we move on, who's your most accurate and inaccurate judgment from this issue?
Inaccurate is Cyclops 100%. Oh, really?
From this issue.
Let me look at it because I can't remember exactly who everybody that got judged. You tell me yours.
So for me, inaccurate was Luke Cage. Luke Cage is one of the most
really.
Yeah, he gets a thumbs down. He's one of the most...
I thought you would have said Daredevil.
No, I wasn't first, but
around.
I actually think that's a good judgment.
Okay.
But I think the most accurate judgment was the thumbs down from David to Professor Xavier.
Oh,
hands down, the best judgment.
I agree.
Quiku says that he thinks his best judgment was Doctor Doom. I'm so back and forth.
I'm right there with you, Quiku.
I thought that would be your pick. I mean, this is what's throwing me off. The thing that I loved is that he literally fucking laughs at the Celestial and walks away.
Yeah.
The Celestial says he passes himself, and of course he does. Of course he does.
Why wouldn't he? Yeah.
Doctor Doom will literally never submit to anything ever, but this Celestial saying I concur. I can't. This dude, Kieran Gillen has done a little bit of a wishy-washy job on finding this Celestial's voice, because sometimes people are combatant and he's like, yeah, man, stick up for yourself. And sometimes people are like Luke Cage is literally like, I don't have time to worry about your judgment. I don't care. I'm actually doing something important. And he's like, you can't do that. That's an automatic loss. I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I'll give Dr. Doom my
I think I'll have to agree with you on Luke Cage, because I don't think anybody else really like stood out to me. Because I liked Daredevils, because I liked that.
No,
like,
you're right.
He knew that's his thing. Like, he's in suffering. He's in suffrage. He's always like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just his thing. You know what I mean?
Joe said, I think the lady that didn't tip at the hotel should be toe tagged. Damn right.
I also, just kind of an honorable mention, I really liked Miles Morales' one.
Yeah, that one was good.
I thought that was dope. So I'll give him that. Like, I think, yeah, and I agree with you. The best one is definitely Xavier. Like, the way it was, it's just a fucking ass. Like, when will you learn?
Never. The answer is never.
Anyway,
Horus was kind of a cop out too.
Well, yeah, but
by definition, he must be worthy. No, bitch. That's not what any of this means at all.
No, yeah. That's Karen Gillan going like, I don't want to give a shit about Thor. I want to just deal with doing my shit. All right, well, let's move on.
Let's do it.
Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man issue number 9, a Hellfire.
Let's move on to the past.
Let's talk about the positives. Artwork in this was actually really good, because it wasn't.
It's Patrick Gleason. I mean,
yeah, great. It wasn't John Romita Jr. I was disappointed, and really this book was set up for disappointment because of just how late we're getting this book. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, it doesn't, and you can totally knock off points for it being released incorrectly.
Okay, but that's not my main gripe. Can I just say my main gripe?
Sorry,
okay.
Yes.
My main gripe is, and it's really been a commentary since we've kind of really dived into Spider-Man books, is I just hate how segmented these books are. Because you have how many pages? 32 pages minimum, because sometimes they go to 38. And we get other books that are 32 pages that are monumental, that tell these grand, well-stated stories, right? And I go, oh, I gotta pick up next month's. And I get this one, and it's like we literally got this much story in those amount of pages, and it's because it's going to be released every other week, and I think that I think it's detrimental to the book. I'm just going to say it now, and I would have loved this issue even more if we had more meat. There's no meat in the book. We knew exactly what was going to happen. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we're being tugged along in Spider-Man, and that's very unfortunate, because I think the book could be more impactful if it was only released once a month.
You know what I think?
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. What?
You, as an Amazing Spider-Man fan, I think, unfortunately, suffer from not being on a concurrently released good Spider-Man run.
Sure.
Because this is how Spider-Man is always released.
And okay.
But even the amazing runs have been released most of the time. Lots of action, little meat on the bone, because they're released every 2 weeks, sometimes every 3 weeks, sometimes every 4 weeks.
I'm sorry.
That's how even the good runs have been. But you feel like that's a negative because you had the unfortunate timeline to jump in on Nick Spencer, and then
okay. So how long I've been in this for what? Almost 3 years now.
And you've only had the Nick Spencer run.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is they knew that Nick Spencer's run was trash. Yet they continued it. Then they got onto this, and it's like,
I think what I'm saying is I fundamentally disagree. I think
I know you do. I know you do.
That's actually what keeps me around on the Spider-Man books. Is it's action hook, and then I'm like, God damn, now I got to get the next issue. And for me, that's kind of what Spider-Man is. That's why I read, like, I would say that the only run that I've read, and I'm by no means a Spider-Man expert, but J. Michael Straczynski, which was coming out every 2 weeks, that's some dense shit. So maybe you need to read that because it's got a lot going on.
Okay, I guess what I'm saying is the past for these characters should not define. Well, but the past is really good, so just give the no. We have experienced some really amazing comics, whether it's in Marvel or DC or independent, that when done right and when done with, do I say feeling? I don't know what the best way to say it is. Like, how many times have we said that it makes no sense that we don't have a house style for Spider-Man? Well, the house style is Fast and Furious. The house style is Tumor Heads. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the house style currently. But then we get other books that just look immaculate that also pair amazingly well with really good writing. I have no problem with Wells' story. None whatsoever, outside of the amount of meat that I'm getting. I want more. I get that can be a positive too, but for me right now, it's really dragging me down. And I want to be engaged. That's why I'm picking up the book. You tell me to go get it, I'm not going to not listen to you. You're like, I'm obviously going to read it because this is what we do. But and then, I can already see, I haven't read the full comment, but like, how many Spider-Man books are we getting in December?
Oh God, it's bad.
December is really Spider-Man month.
Really bad.
So there's no excuse. There's no excuse in my mind. If this had been closer to Hellfire Gala, yep, I think it would have been even more impactful. It's even like, at the end when Moira leaves, like, check out Judgment Day issue 1 to find out where she went. Like, I already know where she fucking went because this issue's like a month and a half late. I
do find it interesting that this issue, when we look at the past, in 2-3 years from now, on like the overall Krakoa era, this book is going to be included on the like absolute must-read list. But it's just funny though that just one solid random issue of Amazing Spider-Man is going to be sitting there between all these mutant books.
Yeah. But the other thing that I find a bit distracting, but I'll take it, is just how quickly and Mary Jane's is she's a an influencer and spokesperson for Krakoan drugs. What? When did that happen? Like, what?
Well, we haven't seen Mary Jane in a while. Her whole life has changed.
I know.
We don't know anything. We don't know who this guy is or where he came from, who these kids are. Are those her kids? Like,
I know, and that's what I'm frustrated with. It's like, I want to know, but then we get these stupid little like, I'm the Vulture, and fuck you. You don't have a cool suit. I'm like, no, I got a cool suit.
Joe says that's the best part of Spider-Man.
Listen, we can disagree.
It's the mystery of the missing 6 months and what happened to MJ.
I want to know now. And we're not going to find out, right? Because in December, it's going to be all dark web shit. Like,
who knows?
And don't get me wrong, I am a little excited, even though it seems very, very like overbearing. But I dig it. So I'll get off my high horse. It was a fun issue. I just didn't like, I don't know. I want more. Give me more, but don't give me, who said it? Empire. I think comics work best once a month released, and I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Don't give me half issues. Give me full issues.
I want to point out something real quick that Quick said. He said, I feel like the Celestial Judgment is based on their own moral code. So Cyclops and Doom pass easily because they're both super headstrong. And actually, of course, like every week in, week out, Quick puts the best point that I never thought of was that
this is Quick
show.
Actually,
I mean, I know. We're just supporting it. We're just highlighting what he says.
He's feeding us.
But it's that's a way better representation, is that really the Celestial is judging people by their own codes. That's why Daredevil fails. That's why Luke Cage fails. Professor X is going to fail no matter what code you use. But I just wanted to point that out. I think that was really good.
Trash.
Quaco also said Junior is not going to be on Spidey for a while. Yes,
I know.
I did see that. It's great. It's not doing dark web. Stefan, I don't think we've gotten any insight to what he did 6 months ago, and that's probably going to be a 2023 thing. I don't think you're going to find out anytime soon.
I just had the worst thought. What if he jumps off of He jumps off of Spider-Man. Gary Jerry's done with X-Men.
Oh god.
And then we get like one of the most amazing writers, I don't know who, starts writing X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And Junior is the artist on the X-Men book. It's like
Daniel Warren Johnson comes to write X-Men.
Daniel Warren Johnson comes to write X-Men, and
they
JR.
put John Romita Jr. on the book.
Marvel, please don't do that.
I would.
Well, we would just end the show, right? It'd be done. Like, we're done.
Yeah, I think we'd have to retire after that. It would be comics would be a dead medium at that point.
So yeah, so close to solicitation, and we're like, nah, we're done. All right, let's move on.
Ooh,
Well,
Stefan said the Celestial will fail Peter because of what he did 6 months ago.
And we don't know what he did. Captain Marvel. This will be a real quick one. It was fun. We've finally passed the magical test, legit. Agatha has reluctantly passed Captain Marvel. She's grown. That's great. Enchantress still doesn't want to believe that, Captain Marvel did what she did for the better of Enchantress. She's still very heartbroken, but she relents a little bit. We know she's going to be back.
Well, especially once she literally reads Captain Marvel's mind and sees exactly what happened.
Big thing here is Binary's going off. She'll be away for a little bit. I'm kind of sad about that because I really liked her as a character, but I'm sure she'll be back and she will be busting through some kind of spaceship to save the group at some point. But what really intrigues me is not really this issue, but what's coming next, which is apparently Captain Marvel's mother is resurrected and she will be making an appearance.
Is she resurrected or is she just appearing as the person that's judging?
Don't know. We're going to have to find out next month.
It looks like she is going to appear to Carol and Lori as, or the Celestial is going to appear to both of them as their mother. And we're going to see what their judgment is. But I think that's pretty cool. Is this going to be our first nothing to do with a mutant or Avengers or an Eternal Judgment Day tie-in?
Wait, say that again?
Is this
not
our
dealing
first that's not dealing with the main players? It's not an Avenger or a mutant book.
Well, Captain Marvel is technically an Avenger. No, she's not. Not anymore. You're
this
right.
Is not a book. This is not an Avenger book, though. Is what I'm
correct. Yeah, it is actually. But the thing is no, we'll be getting Fantastic Four and Avengers tie-ins. We'll get the Fantastic Four before that. Okay. So it's confusing because
I'm just interesting to see. I'm interested to see like the perspective that Kelly Thompson, someone that is very far removed from the storytelling of Judgment Day. I'm curious to see how she adapts it to her story, because ultimately it doesn't really need to fit Judgment Day so much as Judgment Day needs to fit her story, or at least that's how I want her to write it. So
yeah. Well, I'm sure she'll pull it off. Kelly Thompson.
I have no doubt. She's actually every tie-in that she's gonna be with 43 issues in, she's been involved in a lot of tie-ins, and I think she's knocked every single one of them out of the park. I think actually, what was it? Empire tie-ins I think that's when I started picking up the book.
No, I picked it up right before Empire tie-ins. It was when she was corrupted by
the Vox Supreme or whatever.
Vox Supreme, which was the Vox and the Supreme whatever connected. That arc was fucking cool, dude, because she was beating the shit out of the
haven't
Avengers.
read that. I need to read
Oh my god, dude, that was so cool. I haven't even read before that, and I need to. I really want to. There's a burning desire in my heart to actually go hunt cover A's from issue 1 to that point, because I don't have them, and I'm sure it'd be really hard, but I really want to.
I bet you can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, after that we got Daredevil issue number 3. It was all right. It was good. I think
it was just overshadowed a little bit.
I know where we're going, right? And we're doing this build up, and we're like, guy, let's go. Like, let's just start the war already. I think that's kind of where we're at right now with this book. I don't want to say I was expecting more, but I feel like Chip is playing it safe and trying to build it up for people that hadn't read the previous run. Like, he's literally trying to build it for everybody, which I'm not going to say is a bad thing, but I guess I was kind of expecting a little more. I was underwhelmed.
I get that. I think it was a generally underwhelming issue on its own because we're wanting a faster pace. And then I think tied in with those first 3 or 4 books we had, I think it's hard to stand up to those. The 2 things that stood out to me that I really liked on this issue was finally the confirmation that Punisher is really going to be involved in this, this fist in hand stuff. I really enjoyed how much Luke Cage we got in this issue. You know, Luke Cage becoming mayor really is all from Chip Zdarsky, and honestly, I wish we had. I need to go and pick up that #1 issue of Thunderbolts because that team is supposed to be Luke Cage's team, so I wonder how much he's in it. But I'm very intrigued by him as the mayor and like that as a book. So anytime I get that.
Joe says Daredevil has already shown up in Punisher's book, so we are already kind of missing. And I remember reading the first issue. I know. I remember reading the first issue and being like,
even Mark jumped off of it. So that's like the only comic he's reading.
That's his main character. Oh. Well, we'll see. I am excited. I guess I should stop complaining because I like seeing Chip Zdarsky on 2 really big books, and I just want to keep it that way.
Yeah, on Marvel's Batman and on DC's Batman. It's great.
Right, exactly. All right, after that we have Iron Man issue 23. I'm gonna say it. I think this run is going down with a whimper.
It is, and it's really unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate, and I know certain people in our community, and I'm not trying to poo-poo on it. Like, some people really like going back to the weapon dealer part of the show and like confiscating weapons, and I totally get that. But when you go so cosmic and so deep, with underlining issues, whether it's mentally or society based, I guess I'm trying to say. And then you go to this where it's kind of like, and we're back to the same old. I'm like, I don't know. And I guess that's my worry with Gary Jerry. Like, I think he's going to come out swinging with his Iron Man run, and then we're going to go back to this. Or we might go straight to this. I don't know.
There's really, when you're telling the story of a character that has such established continuity in history, you can really only do 2 things, right? You can either like do the same thing or do something radically different. And I think that's why we loved the book of what is his name?
I know what you're talking about.
Korvac, the book of Korvac.
Yeah, book of Korvac.
The reason why we like that so much is just like, holy shit, we just got a massive, sprawling, cosmic epic in an Iron Man book, and it was philosophical and intriguing and just personal and just totally out of the realm of anything you would ever expect from an Iron Man book.
Right.
And I think, to Cantwell's credit, he said, I'm also going to show you that I can not only do that, but I can write a book that fits the Iron Man continuity really well. And I think from what we've seen from some of our viewers is that he's doing it really well.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing for us is that we aren't really Iron Man people on his normal thing. And so that's why we're not super into it.
Yeah.
And so I will go ahead and just say that, like, I have to recuse myself from a proper review of this arc because I know I'm not the right person to do it. This book wasn't
like
this book wasn't bad.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think the art, which I've been missing Cafu on this arc a lot, but D'Armada, the colorist, has been doing like really heavy legwork. Not saying that Nzueta is a bad artist by any means, but like it still feels like the book of Korvac, even though we have a different artist.
Right.
And I love the like grayscale, it's always kind of gloomy feel to this book, and we still get it in this arc. So Stefan said time machine guns are cool too. Yeah,
no, those are cool. Those are cool. But let me go back to what you said about I need to recuse myself. I think that's I'm not saying that to be, I'm not facetious in that. I'm not trying to be, mean or mean spirited. I think that's a really big thing when it comes to what we do and what other people do on this platform. We can read a book, not like it, but then also say, but listen, we may not be the ones to actually review this book because we have either this bias or we have this view that doesn't really fit in the narrative of what the writer's trying to achieve. And I think that needs to happen. I'm talking about like a meta commentary what we do on this platform. But I think it needs to be said, like, if there's a book that we have in our review and we actively know that we just don't have the gusto or even the credentials to actually review, we should say it. We should say it.
Oh,
and
for
I think,
sure. Yeah.
And I think more of us on this platform should. If you don't like the book because you haven't done your due diligence to read whatever is associated with the book, then don't, just say, hey, this book wasn't for me. But hey, if you're really into traditional Iron Man stories, check it out. I think it might be for you. And that's it. And just move on. Joe, this feels like an old school Iron Man storyline with his rogues being highlighted. Totally. And they almost felt like that at the beginning of the series. It was like, well, that's what we were getting. And then like, oh shit, we're going to space. Like we went from entertaining the rogues gallery to going and they're all like enslaved by Korvac. It was really cool. So it was kind of nice.
Yeah, sure.
All right, after that, real quick, Midnight Suns issue number 1. Nate, I think you might need to read this book. And here's what I'm telling you. Don't stop shaking your head.
Okay.
Major Strange Academy tie-ins here. Major. Like, to the point where it's really cool.
I am so turned off by this cover. I cannot.
You're turned off. I can tell you why you're turned off. Because Blade and a Ghost Rider's there. If those two weren't
Wolverine.
there, no. I can tell you right now, Wolverine's actually really cool in this book because they bring him in.
And why does Magic have her soul sword? We just got rid of that.
I don't understand. That is.
Obviously the continuity could take place before that happens. I get it. Sorry.
Right, but this cover it doesn't make sense because in the actual book she has her gold. She has her current
gold armor.
Yep. So I think the DNA cover's dope. I'm sure he did it before anything got ripped, but
sure. This
was really fun, and I'll be interested to see how it goes and coincides with the game because it is very mysterious. Like, we get a hook, but I know where the game is going, right? Like, I've seen that, and I'll be interested to see how this ties into the game because right now, if I hadn't known the game was being released, I'd be like, whoa, what's going on? I don't know where we're going with it. And there is some major Strange Academy tie-in here with the zombie character, the girl that's like masking her zombiness.
Yes, yeah.
And the girl from Limbo. They are heavy in this book, and it was really cool. And I didn't really give a lot of thought to the Native American Ghost Rider. She's in this book and she kicks ass. Like I was like, whoa, this is dope. And even Blade, like, I'm not a massive Blade fan, but like he was guest lecturing at the Strange Academy at the beginning of the book, like how to kill vampires. And in order for the lecture to work, Magic had to summon vampires in the room. Like she had to create a portal for them to show. It was really cool. I was not expecting a Strange Academy tie into this book. No. And I ordered issue 2. I was on the fence.
Boy, he went and did it.
I went and did it. So I don't know, Joe. I just don't know. I would assume that there is going to be a decent amount of connectivity to the game. But if they hadn't announced the game, it feels like a really cool new story, which I'm very intrigued with because that's what I want. I want some new stuff. Cool stuff. I'd check it out. Demons kind of coming out of portals, coming for the students. You should check it out.
All right.
Oh, did you read this? You didn't read it.
No, I didn't read this. I probably should have though.
I almost should just skip this review because I don't want to tell you anything
else. Okay. I gotta go potty. I'll be right back.
What?
You're saying you don't want me to find you don't want to ruin it for me?
No.
Oh.
I'll ruin it for you.
No, I'll ruin it. We're just gonna sit there and fucking listen.
No, it's the same thing that we talked about. It's a different story than I think what people that were hoping for a Predator story. Like it's a completely different story than what they thought they were going to get, and I think that's a good thing. We've got this girl who's hell bent on revenge, hell bent for revenge against a certain predator, and she's hunting other predators to like get their armor and how they fight and how they hunt. And we actually get 2 pages of Predator in this book. It's more her trying to fix her ship when she crash landed.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think Ed Brisson has done a really good job of creating a new character and really writing her voice and making you feel like you're reading a movie. Is it dialogue heavy at some points, but it works perfectly. It's not overly what's the word? Oh, there's a word. It's just not, it's not thick. Like, and when it is, the words, the thickness of the amount of words, there's a word I'm looking for here. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It never lags, even though there might be deposition. There may be some parts where it's heavy with deposition, but it flows so perfectly that it doesn't even cross my mind that, oh my God, I'm reading a book. Like I'm reading a goddamn novel. Like it feels fluid. And I think it's just a really fun book. And so we end up at the end of it, she finds the parts she needs, but when she goes to the outpost where she's supposed to go, everybody's dead. Well, why is everybody dead? Because there's already been a predator around looking for her. And so right when she's like, oh shit, they're here, it's right behind her. Cut to issue 3. So I'm digging the fuck out of it, and you would have never in a million years heard me say anything like that about a Predator book or an Alien book.
No,
so
I'm very surprised.
That's
very
why
surprised.
I want you to read it. So please go to the shop this week and pick it up.
He still has issues for number 1, so
just do it. It's so worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
All right.
Jaden, guys, Jaden. We're just glad you're here.
10
We'll say it every
demerits.
week.
No, 10 demerits.
Shut up, Jaden. We love that you're here, no matter what time you get here. Even if you came here at the very last second of the show. As long as you say something in chat, we love it.
Hey, is this next book the last Marvel book?
Yes. No.
No?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'm just gonna move to it.
Let's do Joe's question after Obi-Wan.
After it. Okay, well, I didn't read this, so tell me how it happened.
This was probably the weakest issue of the bunch. It wasn't a bad issue. It was just an extremely quick read, with not a lot of message to it. Like I suspected, this takes place after the sandstorm has passed.
Okay.
And basically, Obi-Wan comes out. An Empire weapons cache has been broken into, and the commander got mad, sent his stormtroopers out, and were like, "Go out and kill the what are those bad guys called that live out in there?" I don't remember
Oh,
what they're
the sand people.
Yeah. But be careful. What are Tusken
They're
Raiders?
not
Tusken
real.
Raiders.
They're not
Tusken
real.
Raiders.
Be careful. What am I going to offend a sand person?
James.
I know what you're saying, and I'm not
Tusken
saying
Raiders.
I'm not
Tusken
saying it
Raiders.
like that, and you know I'm not saying it like that.
I know you're not. Tusken Raiders. That's what I'm saying. And so it turns out it's an ambush. The Raiders were prepared the whole time, and they slaughter all of the stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben sees that, but as he's leaving to go get more, he literally starts pillaging off the dead stormtroopers, like battery packs and shit. And he realizes that one's still alive, and he takes him back to his little hut and helps him out. But of course, the guy sees his lightsaber and is like, "Yo, you're a fucking witch, bro! Like, I gotta get sister was a witch.
She's a witch, bro."
And so he like bails and leaves. And it's basically trying to show you, like, Obi-Wan, even after all of this time, after how hardened he's been from the wars, how hardened he's been from staying out here in the sands, like, he's still this compassionate person. He even mentions, like, I know these are no longer the clones I knew, but there's still people that are, you know, living a destitute life that really don't have, they're under the thumb of the Empire and they deserve compassion. And then it shows he's the only one alive. The stormtrooper makes it back, and his commander like yells at him, like, "What the hell happened? You lost all these people and all these things." And then he's just like sitting there, like, and he says Ben because Obi-Wan tells him his name, and then he puts his helmet on, and that's the end of the issue. And it's like, okay, but it took me like 5 minutes to read, so it wasn't bad. It just, at the end of the day, this whole 5-issue arc is over. It's not bad. I'm glad I picked it up, but it really does feel like they told Cantwell, "Hey, you've got a month to come up with 5 issues to figure out something about Obi-Wan, because we need a comic book coming out at the same time the TV show's coming out."
Show.
And for whatever reason, that's what they decided. Is it like a masterpiece in the lexicon of Obi-Wan stories? Definitely not. It's probably just highlighting things that most people already know about the character if you're interested in him. But if someone's like, "Man, who's this Obi-Wan guy?" I'd like hand them a trade of this book. Well, here, read this. Maybe that'll help. Is I Phil Noto cover though, so I mean, I'll put that in my Phil Noto collection.
Empire, he wouldn't know because he hasn't read the Predator book yet, so he'll say Alien.
What's Oh yeah, I need to read Predator next. So I don't know, but I'll go ahead and let you know now. Let me show my bias. Philip Kennedy Johnson is writing Alien, and he's one of my top 3 writers writing right now. So just what's okay. Joe's halftime question: what is more important to a comic book, art versus writing, or covers if it's Alex Ross?
What's more important?
Yeah, I want you to go first because my answer was very easy and very direct, and like there's no if, ands, or buts about it for me as a consumer.
I think what people expect me to say is art, and I will say writing, because I think it's, you know, it speaks to the current Spider-Man run. You know, Zeb Wells is doing a good job writing Spider-Man. The only disservice currently right now is the artwork, and if you're not just totally beholden to the artwork, then you don't care, right? I think, you know, if Jonathan Hickman was writing Spider-Man right now, I would even give it a thought, because the artwork's so bad. I'd still read it because it's Jonathan Hickman. So I think even though it seems like I would say artwork, I think the writing is probably the most important, because I think I believe the writing inspires really good artwork. I'm sure that the writer has to write a good script and storyboard it for the illustrator or artist to create really good panels.
Yeah, they can definitely be hindered by a bad artist. That's
right.
Sure. Well, and yeah, my answer is very clearly writing first, and I was literally just going to use Zeb Wells's Spider-Man as my case in point. But for me, I've always been, I came into comic books very late in my life where I'm at now. And so I've always been a prose reader though. So story is always going to be more important to me. But I think that's the beauty of comic books, is that there's no such thing as comic books without the other.
Right.
Even, you know, most people will say, well, there's plenty of comic books that don't have any words. And I think, what is the Step by Bloody Step? That was a great, I think it's a great example of, you know, I highly doubt that book is as good as the artist was, and I'm sure he was she was fantastic, but I'm sure Simon Spurrier's, you know, writing, storyboarding, for it was also part of what made it good. Right. And I think that's why I'm very much into comic books, is it gives you a medium that like traditional novels can't provide. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's definitely art. I mean, definitely writing. Like, right? If you know, there are way more writers out there that I will jump onto with a bad artist than there are good artists I'll jump onto a bad writer. And I think Jerry's X-Men is a really good example of that. P.P. Larraz is one of my absolute favorite dudes doing the thing right now, and I was having a tough time picking up those Jerry Gary books. So it sucks, and I don't think that puts artists on a lower platform in the slightest bit compared to writers. But just for me as a consumer, writing.
Yeah, but I will say when the two come together, and there's something that's just so epic. I mean, Jonathan Hickman, P.P. Larraz, and R.B. Silva, and then you've got, you know, somebody like Daniel Warren Johnson, who does all of it. Don't even get me started, dude. That guy, he needs to be more prominent. And I'm sure it's because if he's doing it all himself, he's going to take longer. I will take minis from Daniel Warren Johnson all freaking day, because that guy.
For sure.
Blah! Anyway, let's see here. Patty says, writing, in my opinion, because if done proper, you don't need a drawing. If you adapt the story proper or write it vividly, if that's the proper word. I think that's right. Joe, I heard something about PKJ will be ending his Action
I personally have not seen anything about that right now. I'm actually pulling up his Twitter just to see. But I stick to his Twitter pretty religiously, and I have not heard anything about that.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I think with. Can I explain?
No, you can't. You can't just spew rude shit and then be like, I hate you and I think you're ugly, but let me explain why I think you're ugly.
Did I say that? I didn't say that.
It's basically the same thing.
No, it's not. I think what's happening is we're moving towards some form of reset with the DC universe, whether it's just shaking up titles or if we're actually getting a legit reset. I still hold to that, but I think that Action Comics and even Superman will be going in a different direction. I'm not saying that's the right thing. I'm just saying I think that's what's going to happen. And I think Philip Kennedy Johnson is getting ready to write Green Lantern. I think we will see him in a Green Lantern role, and I think we both can say I actually want to see that because I don't know. I just think he would write a really good Green Lantern book. I think we both kind of agree on that, yeah? Or no? Am I stepping out too much?
No.
So I think that's what's happening. If there's any truth to that, I think that's where we're starting, or where we're going with. Joe, I'm with writing as well, but art can hold that splash the writer wants from the readers. It's a tag team and do a powerbomb. Don't even get me started. All right, let's jump into DC. We've got Batgirls issue number 10.
Oh, is this the order you did it? My bad.
I'm dropping Batgirls.
See,
I'm dropping Batgirls, and let me tell you why. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm very confused.
Okay.
I'm just confused. I don't know what's going on, and I already wanted to find an excuse to drop the book, and I don't have my same artist, and I don't like the art in the book right now, and the only thing that saved me about this book was Babs and Dick Grayson getting it on.
Which you literally had confirmation of that in this issue. So
right. No, and that's the only thing that
so
I
you're
like.
Like, oh, okay, now I got the confirmation. So like now that I know they're literally doing it, I don't need to read this.
Yeah, I'm moving on. Yeah, just do it in Nightwing. That's all I need. Thanks.
Actually, I will. This is good. This will definitely bother someone out there in the world. I actually got really turned off by this book. Not by this book, but I got turned off from this book by some Twitter discourse that I read this week. Okay. That I think is really interesting, and that is basically the complete destruction of Barbara's character development and individuality and personality and growth and representation in the past 20 years by basically de-aging her, taking away her individuality within the Oracle and putting her back in the suits, taking away her representative identity by being disabled and making her abled again. And I still was just like, I've only really known Barbara as a Batgirl, so like it didn't fit that. I didn't have that viewpoint.
Right.
Didn't quite get it until someone said what they've done to Babs is essentially like saying now, like right now, we should actually take Dick Grayson and make him Robin again. Like he can be Nightwing sometimes too when he's in Bloodhaven,
right.
But like when he's in Gotham, he needs to be Robin and he needs to be Batman's sidekick. He needs to be, behind Batman and supporting him. And when someone put it like that, in that perspective, I was like, oh shit. Yeah. And I was like, but that's not Conrad and Clooney's fault, right? Like they didn't do that. They didn't choose that. DC said this is the current status quo, and they write us a book like that. Right. And so I feel a little torn now on this book. I actually had a lot of fun with this one. This is still the silly goose time that it has been for the past 10 months. So I don't know how I feel. You're right. It took me a minute to remember what was going on with this book and the clues and the seer and stuff like that. But
right. I think what I want back from the book is what initially intrigued us, which was, and this is flying in the face of the conversation we just had, but the artwork was really cool in this book. Like I thought it did a really good job of like pairing the two together, and I feel like we've jumped around so much. Like when we got that other new artist, I was like, oh, I could get into this, and then they were gone after 2 issues. It just kind of flings me out of it a little bit, and then I just felt like the connectivity from issue 9 to 10 just wasn't there, and I was already looking for an excuse to like thin my, I don't know. I'll have to sleep on it, but right now I'm thinking about dropping Batgirls. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm feeling. This was earlier when we first started the show, and I was saying there's a couple of books I'm gonna have to start thinking about. I think what I'm probably gonna do is remove this from my pull list and then make it a week in, week out.
Week out. Yeah, I like that. Let's see here. Joe says I jumped off after 8. I think my pull is too thick. Isn't that right? Batgirls is so out of left field from the rest of my Bat books I pick up, so it was an easy choice. It came down to Task Force E or Batgirls. Task Force E connects with the Lazarus resin being a part of the main story. Yeah, that's interesting. Quiku, I saw some of the Twitter discourse, and I've got to agree, she's lost a lot of her character development, which sucks because she's one of the rare characters who got to grow and change over time. Interesting.
Yep. And yeah, I saw some really, really, really good discourse about that, and it just made me really bummed out. I was like, God, because this book is really fun to me, and in the case of this book, I do find Babs a really compelling character, but like, yeah, you put it in that other context, and what really got me was, someone said, I have found that if you ask most modern readers what their favorite version of Babs is, they will tell you the James Tynion like Fear State and stuff when she was acting as Oracle. And I was like, fuck, because that is my favorite version of Babs that I've read, because I haven't read any of the old stuff. Like, when it comes to DC, I'm very, very modern focused. I have not done a lot of back reading at all in DC, so I don't know any Birds of Prey Babs. I don't know any New 52 Babs, which is obviously when they started de-aging her and putting her back in the cowl, but I just don't know.
Right. Well, I guess we'll just have to see how it goes.
We'll have to see how it goes.
One more thing from Kiko. I'm planning on doing a pull list cut down in December/January, since it seems like we'll be getting a lot of new titles coming in 2023. Yeah, we definitely need to. That'd be kind of an interesting show if we did like, we're cutting this, we're keeping this, we're, like have like a countdown. That'd be kind of cool. Like, you're safe. You've been eliminated. Maybe we'll do TikToks. All right. Next up, we have Batman versus Robin issue number 1. I was right. Alfred in some form has come back. We'll see if it's actually a thing or not. I feel like I had an oh shit moment in this book. I think if I had a DC pick of the week, it would have been this book. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. This has become my silly goose time. Just because I want more Robin, and now we're back to him being like a total asshole, and we don't know why, right? And that's what everybody has known Damion to be, and me and you are kind of like, wait, we've never seen this before.
Well, see, I have seen him like this before.
Oh, okay.
And I fucking
hate it, right? Yeah.
I'm immensely turned off by this.
Well, no doubt.
Immensely.
But I think that can be a positive, because we want to see, like, do they keep that up, or is he going to be a dick the entire time?
See, I find no intrigue in it whatsoever, and the only thing that is making me stay on for this is, one, it's just 3 issues, so I know there's an end, and 2, it's pretty much established that this isn't just straight up him being who he is. He's being influenced by probably the devil Nihiza, but by something. Yeah. But like this back and forth between him and Batman, and like, am I going to be an evil piece of shit, or am I going to follow my dad? I'm beyond over it. I don't ever, and I mean ever, in 30 years from now, if they stopped and for 30 straight years they were cool as shit, and then they were like, well, let's do one more story, I'd be like, fuck it, I'm out, I'm done. Never reading it. I'm serious. I'm just over it. Fine. Like, I also feel like my heartstrings are being played with too much with Alfred in here. Like, in some ways, I don't want him to be brought back. I want DC to just be able to stick to something for a few years. But also, like, it's Alfred. I mean, he's one of the best Batman characters of all time. And so I overanalyzed the shit out of this book. I read it and was like, no, I'm done. No, I'm not reading this. And I picked it back up and I read a few pages and stuff, and I was like, oh, I guess I want to see what fucking happens. I feel so polarized by my emotions in this book.
Yeah, I understand that. Let's see here. Jaden says, I love Oracle. It's Bab's best character in my opinion. I really hope it's not a cheap fake out because I'm sick of DC doing that. I'm sure that. Oh, that was right. The oh shit moment for me in this book was Zatanna being her neck.
Okay, you're right. You're right. That as soon as that happened, I was like, "Yo, okay, that's probably one of the coolest like moments that I've had in a few months." Just coolest,
but one of the most fucked up that wasn't in an independent silver coin book. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but like because it was in a DC book. Like if that had been in silver coin, I'd be like, "Whoa, that's crazy." But like because it was in here, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Like how often does DC take one of its like legacy characters it's been making for 70 years and then like snap her neck and make her the bent neck lady? Like
when she was like, I'm alive, but I'm dead. I'm like,
it's like, oh my god. He's like, Zatanna, are you okay? She's like, well, I'm kind of alive and dead. It's kind of a Schrodinger's cat thing.
Doesn't feel good, you know?
Yeah.
And then here you go with the Simicus, no hate on Duggan, but I am cutting off Iron Man off my pull list to make room for Cantwell's Namor and Golden Goblin minis. I want to check out the Golden Goblin minis for sure. If FF doesn't immediately deliver, it will be dropped also. I would agree with you there. Quiku, I think Zatanna has the same problem as Scarlet Witch, where she's so strong she can never be involved in anything because she'd solve the problem easily. I don't know that much about Zatanna, so it's good to have that knowledge that Quiku has just dropped because that's interesting. Jaden, I agree with Nate because he may have favorite Bat fan member. Oh, he may be the favorite Bat fan. Can you read it?
Jaden said he agrees with me because Alfred is his favorite Bat fan member, but at the same time, it would be really very real and intense if he actually stays dead. And I mean, like, I don't know, like, there's very few characters I think in comics that everyone's just like, you know, the character's cool as shit. Like, why would we get rid of them? And Alfred's probably one of them, but we wanted to be impactful, and so we Tom King knocked him off the board. So like, we're gonna hold on to this for a while, or it seems like my guess right now is that he's some type of magical apparition that, while this is literally him, like these memories are real, and like if he ever does come back full time, he'll remember this event. I think he's gonna stay dead after this.
Right, when the clock strikes 12.
For at least a little long.
Yeah. Quaku, I agree with that. I'm tired of Damion having his character development reset. So yeah, hoping Alfred stays dead. Feels like DC always resets any major status quo changes. Also, Batman v Robin is 5 issues for your information. Joe, what's y'all's thoughts on last week's Dark Crisis? Nothing happened. I'm sure it was very impactful for people that read the original Dark Crisis event, and they're like, oh my god, this is like exactly what I wanted to happen when I wanted a sequel. But for me, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, boring. I'm sorry, it's boring. We talk about Judgment Day and Marvel's event kind of rewriting how things are flowing within issues. And right now, I feel like nothing has really happened that we didn't already kind of know with what was like, okay, you're resetting the multiverse. Okay, you're making infinite more multiverses. Didn't we already have that? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. I'm just, you can take there if you want, but that's my thought. That's about it. Okay.
Oh, Joe with the big call here. He says, I think Robin will be the next Batman after this.
Which Robin? Damion?
He's technically is Todd?
Oh, isn't
is Todd still Robin?
But no, because
he's not Red Robin. Right. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
Sure, that'd be great. I'll be fine with that. All right, Superman, Son of Kal-El. It's over. It's finally over.
I knew that's how you were gonna do this one. He's gone. It's over.
It's over. Yeah. The Gamora storyline hopefully is over. I mean, Bendix has been literally ejected out into space. We're getting Action Comics tie-ins. Let's move on. Let's continue to character build. If I love the hey, I'm here and this is my boyfriend. Deal with it, world. Love that. But let's start a new story arc. I'm ready. 15 issues in. Let's start a new one. Will it happen? I don't know.
Yes, it will for
I
sure.
hope so. No, I hope so.
No, it will for sure.
Watch,
because we have a crossover event happening after this.
After the crossover, it's gonna be like, it was a dream, and I'm still fighting. And oh no!
It's literally, and then it's just 15 issues of the exact same storyline again, just a little bit different art.
Yeah. Let's see. Joe says, was the hype on him coming out with it? What do you mean? What does that mean? With it? I can't hear you. There you go. Better.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I felt like.
Oh, sorry. It's just so natural.
No,
That's a natural.
No, you run the show.
impulse.
It's fine. I'm gonna watch the football game. You go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
No, that's good. Go Packers.
Yeah, go Pack, go. You don't want to lose on a week at Cowboys, man. Jesus.
Seriously, like, cannot.
Especially not to the Bears.
Seriously. Anyway,
right,
what I was
listen
gonna
to
say
those
is, for some reason I thought that it was already kind of public knowledge that he had come out, but I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. That was definitely my favorite part of this issue. But I think this issue had a lot of. I really liked this issue. I thought it was a really good way to end the Gamora arc, and I really liked it because I think it pretty neatly tied this arc up. Like I of course, Gamora. I mean, Bendix could always, what's happening? But I think we pretty like clearly tied a bow on the end of this arc. But Tom Taylor put a bunch of little nuggets down for us that like clearly going to get to in the future, or at least I hope we do. What happened to him when he gets hit by the laser and he starts burning up from the inside? I think that's very interesting. How is Lex, like what's going to happen with Lex and him taking over Bendix's superhero or superpowered, stuff? What was the other thing? Like, how is the impact of Superman being with boyfriend's name?
No.
I'm so bad with names.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. His boyfriend.
I think that's going to be like a pretty big. Honestly, one of the things I liked about this book in its first arc-ish was that it very much felt like a golden age.
I think that's why it felt so long.
What?
Like, if you read, Calvin says, I feel like this arc was way too long. We haven't gotten a lot of actual character explanation on John or Jay in all this time. Like, Jay, sorry. I think that goes hand in hand to what you were saying. Like, it feels like a golden age comic. Like, it was like, now we're gonna fight the big monster. Dun, dun, dun. Now we're gonna fight the soldier monster. Dun, dun, dun.
Sure, but the first arc, like before we started, I mean, obviously the Gamora stuff has been involved since the beginning, but I don't think that they technically consider that arc started to like 5 or 6. The first few issues were very much like him, like fighting for the downtrodden and oppressed. Right. But what I think is really interesting and what was really good, and I really want Tom Taylor to get back to, is everyone likes that story when it's the downtrodden and depressed peoples of the 40s and 50s, which were basically just like poor helpless white people. And I think now that like this story was clearly focusing on the downtrodden and oppressed people of today. And I really want us to get back to that storyline, and I think we can get there through John and Jay essentially coming out to the world at the very end.
But
look,
oh, God, sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
What I was gonna say is I also liked when like the first 6 issues. I liked like Superman basically, or John having to almost prove himself worthy to be Superman. And I felt like we kind of lost that direction a little bit. Like we were just focusing on going, and like I want more of that. Like, is he actually ready to be Superman? Can he hold the mantle of his father? Now his father's coming back. Has he proven himself? Well, everyone's probably expecting like Clark to be like, no, you didn't really do it. And it's more like, man, I'm super proud of you. You've really done a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, like I'm sure that's what's going to happen, and I can't wait for that.
Yes. We'll see. I think we've both been a little bit slowed down on Superman in Action Comics, but I think this crossover is going to really.
Oh yeah, the Action Comics has been super slow, but we know that.
Are you going to pick it back up for the crossover?
Yes. We can give it a shot. All right, jumping into our Independence, we're starting off with Aftershock issue number 2's Samurai Doggy. Issue 1 was so strong, and I felt like this issue was like, oh, and here's what was happening over here during issue 1, and then here's 2 pages of like story development, and it's over. That's how I felt about this issue. Like, I thought the artwork, again, nothing to complain about, but I felt like, and I'm sure the character that we're building up in the second issue is important, but I was ready for like heads to roll, massive action, and we only got that for 2 pages at the end of the book, and I was kind of disappointed.
And it was reused scenes.
Right.
I will go ahead and say that this issue was such a disappointment that I highly doubt I pick up issue 3.
Ooh.
I actually will not be picking up issue 3 until I essentially read it in the store. I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna open it up, and I'm gonna look, and if it doesn't meet, if there's not some like really clear, obvious plot movement, I'm out.
You'll be dropping.
If I'm literally gonna count. If I don't see the Samurai Doggy on at least 15 of the pages, then I'm not buying.
Okay. I
it was
actually,
I'm so disappointed in this book.
Yeah.
I read this book in 2.5 minutes, 3
Not
minutes
even.
tops.
Yeah.
And the art is amazing. It's so good. Like, it's still exactly what I wanted. I actually do feel like the panel work was more Americanized than it was in the first issue.
First one, yeah.
But the artwork itself was still so good.
Yeah.
But the story made no sense. It made absolutely no sense. We drug out forever.
It was
essentially following a new character going to buy drugs.
Yeah.
And then in the very end, he happens to be in the same area that Samurai Doggy is when shit goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes no sense. We're given no clues as to how any of this ties together. We aren't given any sort of plot movement. We're not getting any sort of character development. I was so disappointed.
Yeah. It sucks because the first issue was our pick of the week, and then you go to this and you're like, this is a completely different story. So issue 3, like you said, has a lot of work to do for you in the actual store, and I will still pick up 3, but like, because I already pre-ordered it, but that's
I didn't.
Very disappointing. Oh, let's talk about a book that wasn't disappointing.
Yes, Chips. Pick of the week.
Duh. It's my pick of the week. This book is so damn good. Daniel Warren Johnson, again, is just pulling at ideas and storylines that I never thought I could associate with professional wrestling. And I never thought I'd be interested in. And like, dude, this book has the feels. Because like the fact that the what's the name of the dad's character? The son, is it something son?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Cobra Sun.
Cobra Sun is just dealing with like all the feels, right? Because he sees his wife in his daughter. He sees like the potential, and he wants to nurture it and grow it, but at the same time, he doesn't want her to die because they're actually in a murderous wrestling competition where they actually think wrestling is real, where people actually break their necks, like we see in this book, where we see Steel Rose's uncle like show up to the tournament too, and he ends up getting almost killed. Just crazy. And
yeah, the dude does like a flying leg slam onto his neck.
Yeah, and breaks it. And
it breaks,
it
breaks it.
The other thing that I liked is the visualization that Daniel Warren Johnson does in this book, where like we see the finishing move of Cobra Sun and Steel Rose's mother, where like it's like sword, and then you actually see a samurai sword behind her, like a visual representation of what they're doing. So like like it just feels fluid. Like, you know, it just looks, you know, that Daniel Warren Johnson is really into professional wrestling, but he's taking it up a notch, and he's doing the storytelling that they wish they could do in the WWE and the ECW and whatever else is out there. he just does a great job. The story has got me. And then at the end, when, they commit this like radical, they end up almost killing her uncle, and Cobra Sun's like, they ain't seen nothing yet, bitch. And he's literally got a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire and all the other
and
fun,
a folding chair wrapped in barbed wire.
Yeah, all the fun toys that she can bring into a no holds bar wrestling match. I am here for it. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that was the one thing that they brought up that really hasn't been super addressed since the first issue, which was that like the dude running this thing totally doesn't realize that Earth wrestling is fake.
It's not
set
fake,
up.
yeah.
And like he's like, oh yeah, you're so funny. Like you guys are totally really gonna beat the shit out of each other. And now is when they realize, oh god, we really got to beat the shit out of everyone because this isn't fake. Like we're real. Like obviously they have known that, but like clearly Cobra Sun was holding back. Like he literally went and was like, all right, well now we're gonna have to really do some shit.
No, when
and
that
just pulls out a massive amount of barbed wire.
That last page, the Sword, their first album, that first song was like, Jen. I was like, oh, here we go. Like, it's about to go down. Like, I am so stoked for this book. I was talking to my dad about this today when we were having dinner. He came over because we're watching the game. And I was like, when I get the hardcover, inevitably, of this book, you must read this because it is just a masterpiece, dude. Like, it's so damn good. If you're not reading Do a Powerbomb, do yourself a favor. Fucking read it. Go pick it up.
And this was very, very, very close to being mine.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have The Silver Coin, issue number 14, The Bad Year. Talk about close to home.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Like,
should I hit the button?
Yes, hit the button while I take a quick pause.
Okay. Where'd he go? I know he's probably farting or something. Doesn't want to toot on camera. What did Empire said? My pick of the week, Do a Powerbomb. Also, Robin punching Bendix was satisfying. That kiss, though. Yeah, dude, that was it was a good book. Superman was great. The reveal was awesome. I'm glad Bendix is gone. I really hope we are done with this this Gamora thing. I hope it doesn't. I mean, I think it will eventually come back at some point. But it's more of like, what is Lex gonna do with the Gamora set? You know, how's he gonna use it to his advantage? Stuff like that. Joe, I'm liking this run, but it's all choppy. It's like we are just watching cutscenes in a video game. I guess I could see that, but I don't know. I think the reason why I like it so much is because I remember what happened in the last issue pretty vividly. Maybe it's just because I'm playing favorites, but I don't know. I've felt like it's been pretty fluid. So there's that.
Sorry, kiddo just got home.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. So what have we covered this at all yet?
No, I was talking about chat.
I
was gonna let you do your thing.
So this is James, right? In COVID, pretty much.
What? No, it is not. No way.
You said it hit close to home.
It hit close to home because I have people that I know that are still kind of this way.
Yeah.
In the current situation we're in, and I'm like, you know, so
it's So I was thrown off right at first whenever we were like, oh, we're doing a COVID story. I was like, damn, is it too soon? Like, I still don't know if it's too soon to do a COVID story or not. What makes me love this book so much is that you just never know what to expect.
Yes.
And I feel like all of these writers, we already know that Michael Walsh is 10 out of 10 on the art. We don't have to worry about that. But we're always just not sure exactly what a writer's going to bring. If they're really just going to try to freak the fuck out like Johnny Christmas did. But I loved the framing of this one. We essentially told our horror story in reverse. Or we told the horror story in forward motion and we told the backstory in reverse. And we did both simultaneously. This was a very Quentin Tarantino-esque issue. Even to the point where our horror bits were in black background and our background story were in white. So you could literally tell when we were transitioning from one to the next.
Explain to me something really quick before you continue go through.
Of course.
So, and I'm sure I'm going to spoil something here, but so the girlfriend had the coin, right? She had the coin.
She technically had the coin, yes.
And then he found it, and then he tripped balls, and okay.
Yeah.
So what negative things were happening to her to have the coin?
We don't know if they ever did. And I think that's actually a really good part of the book that I like, is that we've always known the coin sort of has a mind of its own, but it feels like the coin basically attacks once it becomes picked up by someone.
Right.
And what actually seems to be way more accurate is that this coin is choosing victims. And so, because we don't have any evidence that this coin affected her, and the coin essentially used her to get to him. And so, to me, I like that because it makes the coin even more sinister than we previously thought. That could be me delving a little bit too into it, but that's what I got. As soon as I read it, that's what I got out of it, was that, like, holy shit, this coin, it's not just content with haunting whoever picks it up. It's searching people out now.
Right.
I mean, and of course, what one common theme a lot of writers choose is that the horror is the basis of your horror is your anxieties, right? And so we had a character here who's, essentially losing his girlfriend because he is having, I don't want to say an overreaction to COVID, but he's having a strong reaction to COVID. He's very, very, very careful, always wearing his mask, saying we shouldn't be leaving at all. He's, at one point he says these people aren't a part of our pod. So like they're being very strict, and again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but like that's clearly a source of anxiety for him.
Right.
And of course, his second form of anxiety is that she thinks that that his girlfriend is attracted or wanting to leave him for a man that lives with the girl that she's going to stay with, that she hangs out with. And we see those anxieties eventually manifest in him going to check on her at this house and seeing a lot of our characters that we've had from other previous issues. He manifests Kelly Thompson's girl, who cuts the face off of one of the girls and wears it and starts hacking and slashing everyone. We see the Michael Walsh created character of the like pilgrimy church dude who we've seen a few different times. We see the chef from is it Vita Ayala's issue of the diner, and they start to run out of meat, so they start cutting up and killing the actual patrons. I thought that was so cool that he was essentially haunted by other monsters throughout the first 13 issues.
Right.
And he thinks that he's seeing these monsters, and eventually starts defending himself because he sees Jenny, I believe his girlfriend.
Woo!
It looks like she's having eyeballs implanted into her and is calling out for help.
I was trying to read the page next to it so quick because I just didn't want to look at that. And it was like in my periphery. I was like, no.
I was like studying it, and you can like see stitch marks through the eyeballs too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, Lauren, not it. But eventually it turns out, of course, like we have seen before, he's hallucinating. The coin is making him hallucinate. All of these people are just normal people who they are. He has killed somebody, and then
killed a bunch. He's killed like 3 or 4 people.
Well, we only for sure see him kill one person, right? In the back.
No, there's like 2 bodies. There's like 3 bodies laying on the floor.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
All right, so we see that
he's slaughtered.
Oh yeah. There's two dead people in the back.
Yeah. he's
holding the like spade or whatever it is to her neck too, and she's like, please, like, stop. And then he comes to and realizes what it is, and then the guy that he has been afraid she's leaving him for is there, and he like is really nervous and pulls out a gun and shoots him in the head. The bullet goes through him and hits her too.
God.
And so now this guy, who really didn't have anything to do with any of this, is sitting there, and everyone around him is dead, and the coin is just left laying there on the ground.
Who's gonna pick me up next?
I think of course we're seeing no one directly picking up the coin after this issue because the next issue will be the end of Arc 3, which will be
Walsh.
Michael Walsh double issue.
Hell yeah.
Which,
Those are always my favorite.
Yeah, they're good.
Like he always ends up doing a really cool job, so I'm hesitantly super excited and can't wait for it to come out, but I also don't want to I want to sleep at night, so please don't do a Christmas because God, that was just
yeah. Joe asked, are each issue's one shots? Yes, for the most part they are. It's an anthology book, so with every issue we get a new writer besides the 2 and about to be 3 that Michael Walsh does both on.
Yeah,
but there is still connective tissue between them all. So just like and this is probably why I love this issue so much, was how the amount of connective tissue that we had in this issue. Usually you only get that in the 2 Michael Walsh stories at the end of an arc. This is, I think, one of only maybe 2 that we've had very clearly seeing stuff from other issues where he sees all the monsters that are manifested are from previous issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that mixed with what seemed like to me the extra sinister intentions of the coin itself being personified. I thought, boy, I'm really excited. They haven't officially announced the next arc. I'm really hoping that we're getting a 4th one.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I enjoyed it a lot. I liked it more than the previous issue, and I'm ready for more. Hold on, Joe. Just hold on, Joe. His foot's down before I'd create. Hold on, Joe. Hold on, Joe. All right. That's it.
All right.
This book didn't come out. I'm pissed. It's been pushed back again. So.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I didn't even remember that.
Nope. That's gonna do it for episode 104 or issue 104 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us. Make sure again to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give us a like. We're trying to hit that sub goal. We will see you guys again. You froze. No, you didn't. Oh, dude, you had a good. I thought you froze. Anyway, we'll see you guys again this Tuesday for New Comic Book Day. It's a hefty one again, so be prepared. And then we'll see you again. Yeah, it is. We already recorded it. Anyway,
I just don't remember.
Dude, there's so many books. We will obviously have a review of episode 6 of She-Hulk, so be sure to be here bright and early for that. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Obviously, if there's any new comic book news that breaks, we will be here to record it as quick as possible for you to digest it and let us know how you feel about it. Anyway, guys, thanks for everybody that's been here. We could not do this without you. We love seeing you guys every week, even when we have a vacation and you hit us up on Twitter going, I miss Two Fat Guys. Obviously you do, because we're the best there is, right? So we will see you guys again next Sunday. And as always, guys, treat each other with respect, be kind to one another, and read more comics. I'm sorry, I've got football like literally right here, and it's
all right. Yes, we all know you want to go to watch the Packers lose. Okay, let's go.
If it happens on DC, would you all drive fully in? Yes. Yeah, you would. Yes, you would.
I would get a couple characters. I would not dive fully in. No way.
You would totally do it because it would be something new. Outro. We'll see you guys in the next one, guys. Good night.
See you later, alligators.